Jokes and take pass last from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques. Just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join us, sporty crew. Where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah!
Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Welcome along for another night of rugby action. Scotland taking on this new and improved Wallabies squad. Let's be honest, I am so impressed. If anything from this Autumn Nations tour, I'm impressed with the turnaround of the Wallabies going for the Grand Slam for the first time in goodness only knows how long. The Wallabies on the verge of a Grand Slam. Only Scotland are standing in their way. And I, for one, am honestly a big fan of this resurgence of Australian rugby. Is it another false dawn? Are they about to come crashing down to earth here at the hands of Scotland? Well, we're about to find out. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff. I've already kicked off. Kicked off a while ago. But can the Wallabies keep their momentum going? A vastly improved squad that we are seeing in the making under Joe Schmidt. We can say that with utmost certainty. They are definitely starting to look like a cohesive unit. Gino Ferracini, ahoy! How are you doing? You missed all the action this morning, Gina. Italy, we're taking on the All Blacks. It was a very interesting morning of commentary. Me trying to pronounce all the Italian names. But Wallabies and Scotland in this one. Just getting through the anthems right at the moment. Can the Wallabies keep the momentum going, this newfound momentum, and turn themselves into a force to be reckoned with on the World Rugby stage once again? Beautiful scenes over there at Murrayfield. Games between these two sides are traditionally quite close. As you can see by the poll, 46% have gone for Scotland, 54% are actually going the way of the Wallabies. Find that interesting because the bookmakers have got Scotland as overwhelming favourites, and it was an opportunity, I think, to have a cheeky little hunt. Throw down there on the Wallabies. I'm backing them. Get it done. And if you don't have the amount of confidence that I do in the Wallabies' performance tonight, maybe back them to cover the line. The line is only 4.5 points, but still, as I said, games between these two teams are traditionally very close. We've seen the past two games, there's been a margin of 2 points between them. So that line is probably justifiable, although I've just got a feeling the Wallabies win this by a little bit more than 2. But if you're not confident in that, I suggest taking the line, play it safe. It's all good. It brings the price down a little bit, of course, but I mean, that's the game you play. Very much looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to see what the Wallabies can offer up. They've been pretty good these past few weeks. Can they keep the momentum going? Joseph Swalihi, eyes will be on him once again. The new boy in town has had a great start to his international rugby career. Scotland will be no pushover. That's for sure. As we saw Italy take a flight to the All Blacks earlier this morning as well. The Northern Hemisphere are definitely on top at the moment, but I feel like the momentum is swinging. Very much in for a good contest here, I think. Australia's weakness would be up front. Their main weakness remains up front, I dare say. But the backs will certainly go pound for pound. Duhan van der Meer for Scotland. I like him for anytime try scorer. Andrew Kellaway is always good for an anytime try scorer. And up front, wow. Up front, anybody really, take your pick. Harry Wilson, Rory Darge. I think for anytime try scorer picks, let's stick with the guys out wide in this contest. Moments away from kickoff. Who have we got here? Presenting the ball. It's the team medic's 67th birthday. Happy birthday there, old mate. And he's got the honour and privilege of carrying the ball out onto the field. Give him a start. 67. A big moment. Give him a start. Let him play the first couple of minutes. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? There he is. Joseph Swalihi. Richard Trainer. Ahoy, mate. Ryan Pappenhausen will sign with the Bulldogs 2026. I think he's... They were interested in signing him, and he signed the extension for 1 year with the Melbourne Storm. Now, whether or not that extension is for 2025, as this one's underway and the Wallabies have started poorly, the kick does not go 10. Scotland play at it, though. Scotland play at it, and they've knocked it on. Well, a mistake from the Wallabies has turned into a mistake from Scotland. They could have just let that play out, and they would have had a free scrum on the halfway line. And the Wallabies get away with a... Well, am I allowed to say get away with murder? Certain keywords very early in a stream can get you demonetized. Cruiser, ahoy, mate. And the channel name, of course, is Wasted World of Sports, but do, my friend, feel free to call me Dan. So Richard Trainer, I'm not entirely sure. I think Ryan Pappenhausen has maybe just burnt his bridge there with the doggies by not accepting their offer early and signing a 1-year short-term extension with the Storm. That's Swalehi. Takes the ball up in midfield, looking damaging. And the Wallabies go ever closer now to the 22. Valentini. Now Lolosio, inside ball for Skelton. Skelton sets it up. Takes a second hit up in this little run of phases. Pisano in midfield. Just outside the 22 here, the Wallabies. Valentini onto Ikitau, who puts the grubber kick in behind the line, and it sits up nicely for the Scots. Backtracking. Hugh Jones has taken it. And they set up their ruck about 10 metres out. Over on that far touchline. Scotland diffused that situation early. Box kick from Ben White. Not a lot of distance. And Australia will still be on the attack here. Down in Scotland's zone. And this all comes back to the kickoff. Australia from the kickoff not finding the 10, but Scotland deciding to play at it. You took Scotland 10 plus, Richard. Oh, you're a bold man, sir. A bold man. As the Wallabies now 22 out. I've taken the Wallabies straight with no margin. But I also suggested that you could play it safe and take the Wallabies to cover the 4.5 line. Through the hands now, Lolesio. Up to Valentini. Down the short side again. Lolesio to Pangaramosa. Not making a lot of meters here. The Scottish defence is very tough in around the rucks. Loose ball. It's there for Scotland. They swoop on it. And Schumann. Well, that was poor from the Wallabies. And Scotland can clear well up over the halfway line. It's going to land in the Australian 22 and bounce awkwardly for Wright. Wright's under a lot of pressure. Does manage to get a kick away. And it's a big one. Playing foursome backs at the moment. How good was foursome backs, by the way? Anyone used to play foursome backs at school? Scotland returning kind. Straight up the middle. And this is a little too deep. Going to sit up in the end goal. But Australia decide to run it back. And the kick to touch takes it up just about to the 40-metre line, their own side of halfway there, the Wallabies. And that little game of foursome backs is over. But yes, I used to love the foursome backs in the old schoolyard. Ashman, his first throw of the night, hits the target up the front. Scotland, their first raid into Australia's territory, has presented a huge gap and not expecting the pass. Hugh Jones has dropped it. Well, it was on there. Ben Russell created the space. Hugh Jones not expecting that ball. That was very dangerous. And I've got to say, Scotland made that look very, very easy. And that's a little warning sign for the Wallabies. Predict and win with Stan Sport, hey? What's this all about? I don't think I'm going to get to it on time. Scan. Predict and win with Stan Sport. Score a jersey every week of November. Make your week 4 predictions. Well, it's a bit late for that. Jeez. I think it's a tad late for that. We're at the end of week 4, aren't we? Australia into Scottish territory. Hands in the ruck illegally from Daj. And this is a penalty for Australia right out in front, but about 45 meters, 47 on the angle probably. Joining the ruck from the side. I suspect they'll plug this into the corner. I don't think that Lolasio's got the range here to consider a shot at posts. They do kick to touch. Not a lot of distance found. But still, Australia are controlling the early stages of this game territorially. And Panga Amosa will throw into the line out over on that far touchline about 30 meters out. Hits his target in the middle. And the Wallabies set up a rolling maul. It's got good shape here. Controlling the ball at the back. Panga Amosa now presents it for Bell. And Australia go to ground illegally, says the referee. And it's a penalty to the Wallabies. And this is much more kickable. Well, in terms of distance, it's out very wide. They might just plug this into the corner again. They've been backing themselves, the Wallabies. They'd have to consider the three, you would think, though. No consideration at all. They've gone straight for the corner. And Lolasio ekes out a few extra meters this time. And if they can get a penalty advantage, we could be looking at the first points of the night. Panga Amosa throws to the front, claimed by Wilson. They do have the rolling maul set. Scotland defend. Valiantly defend. And it collapses 5 meters out. Scottish hands all over that ball. And they win the turnover. Beautiful defense there from Scotland. Defending their own try line, not letting Australia get anywhere close to breaking through. And a penalty for holding on. Ben Russell puts it into touch. Not a lot of distance. Again, the kickers kicking for touch, not finding a lot of distance. And that's from both sides. But still, any sort of relief from their 10-meter zone, I'm sure, is fine as they go over the top. And it is not straight. It was not contested. And it will be a scrum down here for the Wallabies. Richard Trainer says, my T-shirt I have on says it all. I support the team who plays against the Wallabies. For all the Wallabies supporters, I do hope you win, because this will be Aussie's first Grand Slam since the 80s. I think that's right. Yes, it has been a while. DJ Shaq, ahoy, mate. No Matt Fessler tonight, no. Yeah, I had... my grandmother used to have a shirt that said, I support New Zealand, Samoa, and everybody playing Australia. As the Wallabies secure this scrum, Valentini just short of the 22. Change of direction here, and it almost opens up for Lolasio. Well defended again from Scotland. Big run forward here from Bell. Penalty advantage for the Wallabies. They're 10 meters out now. Gordon out to Lolasio. Through the hands now, Iki Tau. Tapped on by Swilly. And stepping back in field, Harry Potter. Oh, that's hilarious. Is his name really Harry Potter? That's funny. Still playing under penalty advantage here. The Wallabies 5 out. The pick and go. And it's a new penalty advantage. Oh, they must score here, Australia. They've got to take advantage of this. Time off. Here we come. Back for the penalty. Offsides. Is the Australian winger's name legitimately Harry Potter? Or have Rugby Pass put that up to take the piss? That's funny. The poor guy growing up with that name. Imagine what he must have copped. Oh, well, I mean, in fairness, though, look at what he's achieved. I honestly had to look twice at the team sheet. And the Wallabies have decided to take the 3 here. Common sense has prevailed a little bit, I believe, because that Scottish defence has proved very hard to penetrate. Settle things down and take the first points of the game. I think it is the smart thing to do. Right out in front, on the 22, a simple kick. And Lolosio puts Australia ahead, 3-0. 11 and a half minutes gone. Remember, I've got a bet on Australia to win this outright. No margins, no lines, just straight Australia to win. Laurie Fisher looks like he's falling asleep. Wake up, Laurie. Game on, mate. And you're coaching. Go Australia, says DJ Shack. The green and gold. Ben Russell with the restart. And Tom Wright takes it. 10 metres out from their own line here, the Wallabies. Just setting up through the phases. A big run from Skelton. Big fend off. Sent the Scottish defence rocking backwards. And Gordon with the box kick. Puts it into touch. Not a lot of distance again. They're not making a lot of distance off the kicks. Neither side. Not the kicks to touch anyway. The kicks straight up the middle of the field have been fine. Joseph Swelly, he is indeed playing. Fake Slim Shady. He's already had a couple of early touches, and I mean literal touches. As Scotland throw to the front, secure the line-out ball, and then spill it. It's gone backwards, says the referee. Play on. Australia pick up the loose ball. Now he calls a penalty for Scotland and an opportunity here to level the score. And that was for driving in underneath the line out, essentially taking the player out in the air. Well, they're putting it into touch. A little bit far out, 40 metres out, I would have thought was more than kickable for the Northern Hemisphere sides. But they've decided to keep the pressure on here, Scotland, now that they've got an opportunity down this end. Gina Ferricini says, come on, Aussies, come on, Harry Potter. The throw is good from Ashman, over to the back. It's a loose handoff. Scotland do manage to secure it and get the penalty for Australia, holding down in the ruck. And this is very kickable. They're not interested, though. Finn Russell has turned straight to the sideline. And he puts this into touch. A 5-metre line out. This is an interesting call. Games, as I said, between these two teams, typically very close. Knocking back a gift 3 points. Will that hurt them in the long run? Well, it certainly won't if they score a try. Australia defend this rolling maul. Scotland now reset things. Still crabbing across field. Back towards the post. And they release it now. Finn Russell with the kick in behind the line. There is nobody at the back for the Wallabies. This just needs to sit up. But it goes dead in goal. The idea was right. But the ball beats everybody. Australia, where was their backline defence? As Skelton's getting into it in back play. A little bit of argy-bargy. A little bit of push and shove. The idea was absolutely right. Finn Russell spotted all that space in behind. And the Wallabies lucky to get away with that. And they'll have a 22-metre dropout to restart this. Richard Trainer says, here are some names for you, Dan. I work with two Indian dudes. Both had the same first name, different last name, cannot spell. But here we go. As Wallabies go short with the restart, Gordon, beautifully played, and they're back in possession. No scrum half, though, and they've just realised it. Wilson gets in to collect the loose ball at the back of the ruck. Gordon's in the action now. Skelton. Another good carry. Back to Lolosio now for the clearance. Puts it high. Contestable kick up the middle. Swalihi comes through and bats it back. And Australia keep it alive, but Ikitau is taken from behind. Does well to plant it back, and Australia maintain possession. Just shy of halfway here. In from the side, Scotland, lucky to get away with that one. Australia with the clear out. Lolesio with the kick in behind, taken by Russell. Russell returns with interest. This is going to sit up in the end goal. Lolesio throws a risky pass across to Kellaway. Inside his own goal line, Kellaway clears it. And again, not a lot of distance. Scotland will have the line-out throw just outside the 22. Ajit Randeep Singh and Ajit Gajning Deep Singh. Speaking of Indians, holy hell, are India absolutely pumping the Aussies in the cricket or what? As Scotland win the line out. A pop pass in the middle of the field to Vandermeer. Scotland, though, on the attack. 22 out from the line. At the back to Russell. Throws a quick pass that is knocked on by Blair Kinghorn. And just some scrappiness with the hands in the back line for Scotland. A couple of plays breaking down. They should have scored one very early. DJ Shack says, I feel like it's only a matter of time before they score a try. They probably should have scored one very early. Finn Russell created the space, made the half break, popped the pass up to Hugh Jones, who wasn't expecting it clearly, and left it behind. They would have had a very early try, Scotland, if that play came off. And again here, just they had the numbers. They had the space out to the right. And just handling. The handling, letting them down. But they've looked very, very threatening. And of course, they just needed the bounce, didn't they? They were just one awkward little bounce forward of the ball, or bounce back. If that ball sits up and bounces back in the end goal, they had a try because Australia had no defence back there. Now, what's going on here? We've had an injury stoppage, and the referee is just trying to hurry things along. Is everybody ready? We're going to pack down. Wallabies scrum feed over on that far touchline and about 30 metres out from their own try line. Outside of the initial sort of 7 or 8 minutes, they've been stuck in quicksand down this end of the field, the Wallabies. The scrum stands tall. Backline move. The kick through in behind the Scots, who lose it forward. Penalty to Scotland, though. I'm guessing there was some form of, they're offside. I thought it might have been a penalty for the shove in the back, and there is a lot of tension out there. After pretty much every play now, there's some push and shove. Tom Wright getting involved this time. Well, I've got to say, Tom Wright is probably a man that shouldn't be picking fights. He looks like he'd get folded in half by probably most of the Scottish players out there. And that's no offense to Tom Wright, by the way. I'm not trying to sound like some tough guy. I'm not saying I could take him. I'm saying that I reckon about 90% of the Scottish team could take him, though. Probably not the guy that should be starting the fights. Penalty to Scotland, though. The Wallabies were offside there. And this penalty is actually getting marched forward 10 metres, 20 metres now. Well, they've been marched 20 metres forward, and this becomes very kickable. The penalty has been marched up, and this is a gift 3 points now for Finn Russell and the Scots. The original penalty was blown about 10 metres Scotland's side of halfway, and he marched them 20 metres upfield. You could only think that was for dissent. Absolutely, DJ Shack. And not just one, but 2 dissents. Double dissent. Because you normally only get marched 10 metres for dissent, unless the referee got the initial mark wrong. So there's 2 possibilities there. The initial mark was wrong, and then he marched them for the 10. Or it was a double dose. Finn Russell pushes this into the upright, and it's away. The mark is called as Wilson takes it on the full. Harry Wilson reclaims the ball, and they go quickly, the Wallabies, kicking into touch, up over halfway. Nicole Feeney, ahoy. Well, Finn Russell, that was a really poor shot at goal. What was he, about 25 metres out from right in front? And he has pushed it into that far upright, and it bounces back for Harry Wilson to claim the mark, and Australia clear their lines big time. Ashman throws to the middle. Scotland secure the ball. Through the hands now. Out to the backs. Russell again on the wraparound. Well read by the Wallabies defence. Kellaway's a long way in field. Australia drive over, but they drive over and angle in. They've got to stay on their feet. And this is a penalty for Scotland. Oh, Gordon Tallis, Bill Harrigan back chat. How good was that? Russell puts this high. Australia will try and keep this in the field of play, but that unsuccessful there from Kellaway, despite his best efforts. Aaron, 888, ahoy, mate. "21 minutes gone in this one, and Australia with a slender 3 points to 0 lead. Scotland, though, on the attack. Ashman with the line-out throw, 10 metres out. Here on this near touchline, goes over the top and hits the target. Tuipulotu will score. Sione Tuipulotu, fairly well untouched, dives over beside the post, and Scotland get their try. Just as I was giving you a score update. Sione Tuipulotu, the captain, with his 3rd international try. Scotland on top. Well, I said he went over largely untouched. No, just some lazy defence. Kellaway and Ikitau was caught in 2 minds there. He got the weak shoulder of Ikitau, and Kellaway didn't really do enough. He just barged his way straight through them. Easy conversion. Oh, poor old lady in the crowd's having a heart attack. Probably wasn't paying attention, and then everybody just cheered, and the stadium erupted as Swalihi taps this restart back. Oh, he's good at that, Swalihi. Great in the air. And he taps this one back. But yeah, poor old lady in the crowd having an absolute heart attack. You don't see that every game. Penalty advantage here to Australia. And they have an opportunity now at points to hit straight back. Beautiful work from Swalehi. Again, from the restart, getting up above everybody and tapping that ball back. He's very good in the air. He's pretty much, Swalehi proved his value to this Wallaby squad. Just in this autumn tour alone, how's he going to go up against the All Blacks and the Springboks? Richard Trainer says, hey, Dan, me and my son the other day were at the... Oh, here's the line-out throw. We'll come back to that. Australia claimed the ball in the middle. 5 metres out. Scotland get through and spoil and rip the ball away. Scotland have defended another line-out. 5 metres out from their own line. Beautiful work. The Wallabies not getting a chance to launch an attack. Box kick clearance here from White. Will find touch about 30 metres out from their own line. So Richard Trainer says, the other day we were at the Opera House. It says Opera House. Opera House. Geez, the Opera House is a scary thought. Throw into the line out, hits its target in the middle. Bell pops it up for Kellaway. Kellaway keeps it alive to Ikitau. Ikitau's taken in midfield. Staying on that left-hand edge. Wilson plants it back. Gordon releases quickly. Lolosio throws the cutout pass to Potter. Harry Potter puts the kick through. Needs it to sit up. And Finn Russell eventually shadows it over the sideline. Scotland will have the line-out throw here. They're going to have a look at it, though. You're at the Opera House and this limo rocks up and Speedy pop out. Who? Speedy Gonzalez? Oh, hell yeah. One of my favorite cartoon characters, Speedy Gonzalez. Scotland win the line-out ball. The box kick clearance from White gets a little more distance on this one, but Australia are still down the right end of the field. He wants more distance, White. He is furious at the touchy. He's like, come on, mate, give me some more. I want some more space, more territory. Australia, go quick to the line out. Rumble it up the midfield and lose the ball. Penalty to Scotland. Diving over the ruck, collapsing over the top, I believe. This penalty's for holding on. And Australia, this is not, well, we talked about it in the pre-game. Is it a false dawn for Australian rugby? Are they about to come plummeting back down to earth at the hands of the Scots? And for large parts of this opening 26 and a half minutes, I've got to say, they are coming plummeting back down to earth. Do we need to focus on the players who are not there tonight? Ashman throws to the front. Very secure there. Jamie Ritchie immediately taps it down. Russell sends it out to Tui Pelotu in midfield, the try scorer, making some more valuable meters. And they've held the ball off the ground, Australia. And this will be turnover ball. Right when I've started to write them off, they come up with a big defensive play. That's the sort of defense they need. Still a bit inconsistent, reckons DJ Shack. Much as I've loved their resurgence, they're probably a bit inconsistent. They're like the 2010s France side. Never know what you're going to get. And that look from Joe Schmidt in the coach's box, I think, pretty well sums that up as well. He took a really big... Whew, that is a relieved man. Because they've withstood the pressure for now. Big scrum this one, though. Gordon feeds it. Lolosio chips in over the top. Chased by Swalehi. Swalehi makes the tackle. Ben White was there to claim the ball for Scotland. And the Scots control possession on halfway. Vandermeer driven backwards in the tackle. Harry Wilson calling for troops over on this side, this near side, and that's exactly where Scotland attack. And Swalihi slides across, and the Wallabies number up just in the nick of time. Pangaramosa with a big hit in midfield. Russell takes it to the line, out the back for Tui Pilotu. And now, Jones steps back infield. Creeping forward, slowly but surely here, Scotland. Just waiting for the gap to appear. Fagerson plants it back. Russell onto Tui Pilotu. The flat pass to Vandermeer, who beats one, beats a second. Vandermeer presents it back. They've got numbers galore here. Scotland, draw and pass is all that's needed. But Gilchrist goes to ground. They stay on that short side. Getting closer now to the 22. It opens up in midfield. Gilchrist, 22 out from the line now. Russell dummies the kick across field. Decides to link up through the hands. Back in field to Tui Pilotu, who is rocked in the tackle. And Swalihi's hurt. Swalihi's hurt. He's busted his wrist. Swalihi might have just broken his wrist. Numbers out to the right for Scotland, but they don't pass it. They don't send it out. They had an overlap that's now gone begging. But the big story here, Swalihi is down, clutching at his wrist. Scotland continue to keep it in close to the posts. Nobody seems to have noticed Swalihi clutching at his wrist, because you would think that Finn Russell would send the ball straight there. He is still down. They're 5 meters out from the line, keeping it close, and a penalty to Australia. In to secure the turnover, Skelton and Pangaramosa, and we've got time off for the Swalihi injury. Brandon Pangaramosa there, take a bow, sir. Skelton involved as well. And some words exchanged here. Swalihi, he's having a thing or two to say. That is a big moment of defense from the Wallabies. They were essentially a man down. Swalihi was not involved in that play at all. After that big hit, where he came off second best. He put Tui Pilotu down, but he definitely came off second best. And leaving the field now, Joseph Swalihi. 30 minutes into the match. Jorgensen, well, Jorgensen goes all right, but Jorgensen's no Swalihi. 7 points to 3. Scotland, the only try of the match so far. 30 minutes gone. It's been rough. Been brutal out there. And a lot of feeling between these two teams. Penalty to the Wallabies. 5 meters out from their own line. Brilliantly defended from Pangaramosa. Lotlesio with the touch finder. About 35 meters out on this near side. Still in their own half. The Wallabies have been stuck in quicksand, as I said, down their own half. The throw goes over the top. It's too far, and Ashman claims it for Scotland. Numbers to burn out to the right again, and this time they get it there with haste. Jones steps back in field. Valentini gets in to try and wrestle it away, but Scotland do well to hold on. 22 out from the line. Scotland straight back on the attack. Pressure on the Wallabies. Can they survive? 32 minutes gone. Scotland have certainly controlled this middle to back section of the half. Valentini trying to get in and steal the ball away again. Gilchrist is tackled hard. 10 meters out here, Scotland. Fagerson. Valentini in again, trying to rip the ball away. Good defense for the moment. Cutout pass. Hits the chest of the winger there, Darcy Graham. Gets up and goes again. They're 5 meters out, Scotland. Looking very threatening. Daj goes to ground. Australia got to roll away. Not in time. Penalty advantage. Well, this is a big moment. Change of direction here. Russell to Kinghorn. Kinghorn takes the line on, gets the arms through, but can't offload. And the referee will say, that's enough. We'll come back for the penalty for not rolling away. Scotland with a gift 3 points. It'll extend that lead to 7 points, but geez, you feel like with the amount of territory and possession that Scotland have had, they'll probably want to keep the pressure on here and go for points, and they do just that. They plug it into the corner, and this will be a line-out throw, 5 meters out. Ashman with a big throw here. 5 out from the line. 5-ish minutes to go until half-time. Ashman goes to the front. They've been very secure there. The ball spills out. It's back for Ashman, who finds some space, fights his way towards the line, and it's called a knock-on. The knock-on is called. Harry Wilson trying to fire up the troops. And they've dodged a bullet big time here, the Wallabies. Nate over on TikTok. Ahoy there. Who do I go for in the NRL? Unfortunately, I go for the Sharks. Unfortunately. Yes, I'm sharing the game on our Discord server. Wasted World of Sports. There's a lot of issues out there for a lot of players getting rub downs and things galore. This would be a good opportunity to have a quick break myself while we wait for this scrum to pack down. Be right back. Here we go. Scrum down. 5 meters out from their own line. Still under pressure. Big time here, the Wallabies. The scrum resets. A little bit slippery out there. Gordon waiting patiently to feed. The scrum sets 5 meters out. Big shove here from the Scots. Australia had to get it out of there, and they do just that. 10 meters out from their own line here. Setting up the ruck. Gordon with the box kick. A lot of height, not a lot of distance. They're still under the pump here. That's a poor clearance from Jake Gordon. I mean, they've done well to hold on. Don't get me wrong. They have done extremely well to hold on, but they are still well under the pump here. Ashman will have this throw on the 22. They go to the front again. Very secure at line-out time. Scotland, apart from that knock on, the last throw. And the rolling maul is set, goes to ground. White releases it. Tui Pilotu in midfield, pops the pass off the hip. Nowhere to go. Now, Kinghorn tries to put on the afterburners on the outside. Hagaramosa's in over the top of it, but Scotland do well to hold on. Jamie Ritchie now losing ground. Australia drive over the top. You've got to be careful there. Alatoa. Angus Bell tries to burrow in, get the ball, but Scotland still in possession. Russell around the back to Jones. Jones is very close to the touchline. Still 22 out here, Scotland. The Wallabies have stopped them dead in their tracks here. But they've got numbers here to the right again. And a knock-on from Scotland. Australia have held on valiantly again. Double knock-on. It'll be a scrum down feed for Australia. Phil T, ahoy there. Welcome along. The Wallabies' defence has to be commended to have only leaked one try so far. They have been under the pump. They've been causing this themselves, no less. But all things considering, they can be quite pleased with their efforts. Just a couple of minutes left now till the halftime break. And a big shove here from Scotland again, but illegally wheeling it. And that is a relieving penalty for the Wallabies. Boy, did they need that. They absolutely needed that. A big shunt. Scotland looking like the better team at the moment. Yes, overall is a very fair statement. Of course, the Wallabies would wait till I actually place a wager on them as opposed to against them to pull out a performance like this. But Scotland have been good. Very, very good. Taking nothing away from them and their efforts. The Wallabies throw to the front, stolen by the Scots. They've been very dominant at line-out time of Scotland, and now they shift it through the hands, through the back line. Kinghorn. Kinghorn seems to have super glue on his hands, does not find his outside man. Driving it forward, though, and inside the 22, and Ikitau is in under the ball. Jorgensen's in under the ball as well, and they have held them up. Beautiful work. After having the line out stolen, that was some really good work. I'm not allowed to share Discord links on TikTok for some reason. But if you have YouTube, we're live over there on YouTube at the moment, and the link is in the chat room, pinned to the top of the chat. Well, it's not even pinned to the top, I don't think. Yes, it should be. It should be pinned to the top of the chat, but I can't share it on TikTok. Penalty here? No, scrum reset. A scrum reset. As it looks like Swalahey's done for the night. That's big news, that. Succumbing to that injury, it would appear. Time is up on the clock, and I feel like the Wallabies... Happy is probably not the word to use, but they'll be content to go into half-time only 4 points behind. Could have been a lot worse. And Gordon does just that, runs backwards and pops it into touch. And the referee signals halftime, 7 points to 3. The big story of the game, though, Swalihi appears to be out. Seems like his night is over. Jorgensen has come onto the field. DJ Shack reckons that Jorgensen has gone to the wing and Kellaway will shift to outside centre. Swalihi injured his wrist. Big time. Injured his wrist. He came racing across in cover defence, made a big hit on Tui Pilotu. He knocked Tui Pilotu over and saved any threat of a try. But a consequence of doing so, he immediately stayed on the ground afterwards, clutching at his wrist. It looked immediately like it was broken. But thankfully, seeing him sitting there in the stands, it doesn't appear to be a break. But he's certainly obviously done some serious damage to it. And off he went, trundling down the tunnels to get looked at, and he hasn't come back out onto the field. He has come back out from the tunnels and is sitting on the bench. And here is a replay of it now. Yeah, immediately, as soon as he impacted in that tackle, he just dropped. And Scotland really wasted an opportunity. There's Old Love having the heart attack again. They really wasted an opportunity there, Scotland, because Swalihi was down. He was down and out. He was on the ground holding his wrist for a good couple of minutes. And Scotland failed to realise that, hey, we've got an extra man here. Maybe we should attack that edge of the field. They kept it in tight. And Pangaramosa got over the top of the ball and won a crucial penalty. Xavier Brown. Xavier Brown says this ref has given everything to Scotland. Well, in fairness, the Wallabies have certainly been the victim of their own demise in many ways. This first half has not been the resurgent Wallabies that we've seen in recent weeks. They just seem completely incapable to get themselves into the game. Hard to pinpoint exactly what's going wrong, but it certainly hasn't been the performance that we've seen in recent weeks from the Wallabies. Is the resurgence a false dawn? This is what we were talking about in the pre-game. Is the resurgence a false dawn? Are they about to come plummeting back down to earth? And look at those stats. 56% territory and 52% possession advantage to Scotland. And that pretty much sums up that first half. It started well for the Wallabies, but then fell apart very quickly as Scotland started to dominate. But as I said, look, happy is probably not the right word. I don't think a team would ever be happy to go into the sheds trailing. But given the circumstances, the fact that they are only behind by 4 points after that domination of territory and possession by Scotland, geez, I would take 4 points. They've knocked back 3 shots at penalty goal as well, but Scotland have knocked back shots as well. So I think that that's a largely inconsequential stat. When both sides are knocking back shots at penalty goal, doesn't really matter, does it? Gina Ferragini says, trying to keep my eyes open, but can hear you, Dan. Well, you know what? Trying to keep one's eyes open, honestly, and this is just what I've heard. This is what people have told me, that I have the voice for doing like those sleep videos. I do a reading of something like audio books, and you just put it on in the background and doze off to. So maybe having my voice on in the background is not good for trying to keep one's eyes awake, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Xavier Brown says this game is proving Lolosio is a bang average fly half that creates nothing that looked good. because of others the last 2 weeks. But when others step down, he can't really create anything or do anything productive. Now, that raises an interesting point, Xavier, because I was talking before is maybe we need to look deeper into the players that are missing tonight from the Wallabies. Not him, not you, Nick White. Nicholas White on my TV. Give him one of these. Nick White might possibly have the most punchable face in the entirety of world sport. I would just like to throw that out there. I understand that that's covering a lot of ground. There's a lot of candidates, but there's your winner, folks. What was I on about? Lolosio. Yeah, look, I think, in all honesty, they, being Australia, the Wallabies, ruined Lolosio. Ruined him. He got thrown to the Wolves so early on in his career, didn't he? I can appreciate, but you've got to be so careful as well. It's a delicate situation because I can appreciate a baptism of fire. It can bring out a superstar in a player. But a majority of players need to just be ushered in slowly but surely. Look at what the All Blacks did with Dan Carter. Dan Carter was not thrown straight into the Wolves. He came into the All Blacks squad off the bench. He started playing outside centre. Well, actually, did he start it outside? I feel like he started it outside and then shifted to inside and then eventually got the promotion into the starting role in fly half. I could be wrong about him starting in the 13, but he definitely started as a somewhat utility off the bench. Definitely know that 100%. Then they sort of slowly but surely integrated him into the system, and he became one of the greatest fly halves of all time, arguably the best. What the Wallabies did with Lolosio is they just threw him straight in as a youngster, fed him to the Lions, and he's never quite hit the heights because of it, and that knocks your confidence around, that sort of thing. He would have taken a huge hit to his confidence. So I don't think that they being Australia, as I said, I don't think that they handled him very well at all, quite honestly. Hey, Joy! What are you doing up at this hour? Oh, hang on. What am I doing up at this hour? How dare I ask somebody what they're doing up at this hour when I'm up? Hatchy Man. Is that right? Hatchy Man. Is this Intoxigamer? Ahoy, mate. Yes, I am. Well, I used to be. Now we're the Wasted World of Sports. Seven points to 3 at halftime. Paige, you can't sleep. Well, that's no good. I've got the remedy for that. My voice. Cheers. Apparently. Xavier Brown says, Carter Gordon going to league is going to hurt us more than we think. Oh, he's a big loss. Johnny Farnham. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that the Wallabies number 11 is legitimately named Harry Potter. I thought for sure it was a joke. I honestly thought it was a joke. I thought that his last name was probably legitimately Potter, and so they just called him Harry Potter as a piss take. His name's actually Harry Potter. That poor kid. That poor kid growing up. But as I said, look, he's got the last laugh. He's an international rugby star. Traveling the world, playing for his country. So he gets the last laugh, I suppose, for anybody who did tease him. But why would you do that as well? This is a question to the parents. I blame the parents. All right, Let's not turn Wasted Water Sports into an episode of Dr. Phil. Dearie me. 7 points to 3 here at halftime. Scotland with the only try of the match. And they're the only team that's looked like scoring a try. The Wallabies certainly have not been the Wallabies that we've seen in recent weeks. They got me to believe. They got me to buy into it. I thought there was going to be a resurgence. I actually placed a wager tonight on the Wallabies. This is the first time in a long time that I've actually waged for the Wallabies as opposed to betting on them losing. And they go and throw this first half performance up at us. Anyway, the teams will be getting ready to come back out for the second half momentarily. We'll have ourselves a quick break as well here. Wasted Water Sports. Back in a moment for all the second half action. Right after this, thanks for being with us. Plenty more to come right after the break. All right. Look who I found. How are you going? Oh, somebody's tired. Somebody's exhausted. All right. Second half about to get underway. Australia. Hopefully they copped an absolute bollocking from Joe Schmidt. And they'll come out a different team in the second half and lead the way to victory. But like we said at the top of the stream, matches between these two teams traditionally very close. Yes, indeed, Paige. It's been a while, hasn't it? But she still likes to make her appearances on camera, just like the old Intoxigama days. Wallabies heading out onto the field. Can they fight back here in the second half? Only trailing by 4 points. What is this? What is this message here from TikTok? It's detected that the live chat didn't appear on your screen the past 2 minutes. Ah. Okay. That's weird. It's been on my screen the whole time. Anyway, I digress. Second half about to get underway here. The Wallabies trailing by 4. Scotland with the only try of the match thus far. Can they keep that momentum going? Can the Wallabies hit back? Referee has blown his whistle, ready to get underway. Scotland with the restart. They get enough distance on it, and it's been tapped backwards. Scotland with first use of the second half. Not the start that the Wallabies were after, to say the least. Now, Scotland turn it back down the blind side. A little hop and a skip from Jamie Ritchie. And they're about 30 metres out from the try line. Penalty incoming. Australia have failed to roll away. And this is not the start to the second half that they were after, to say the least. This will be an opportunity at 3 if they want it. Don't tell me they're going to turn it down. Ben Russell's going to put it into the corner. They want the big fish. They are going in for the kill here, Scotland. The flags are waving high in the crowd. This is a big, big call. They throw to the middle. Secure possession. Jamie Ritchie is not straight. Oh, they've cocked it up, Scotland. The throw is not straight. And the Wallabies are off the hook. Unbelievable. What a let-off. And Joe Schmidt is straight on the blower, sending messages down to the squad. What a huge let-off to start this second half. Boy, Joe Schmidt's going to need a few of these before the end of the night. The way this is going. It's actually not water up in the coach's box. It's straight vodka. Big shove there from... Whoops, sorry. Big shove. And a kick again from Lolosio without Swalihi on the field. That makes no sense, the little chip over the top. And this is just gifted Scotland territory back. Penalty advantage. Hands in. Off the feet. And we come back for a Scotland penalty right out in front. They might consider taking the 3 here. And that, I'm afraid to say, is just completely brainless play. Ikitau with the kick over the top. And it wasn't a distance kick. It was just a cheeky little chip and chase over the top. And Scotland are racing. They're coming up in defence in a V formation. So they were already kind of back ready for that play. And without Swalihi there to contest in the air, completely pointless anyway. And they are indeed taking the 3 here. Finn Russell from right in front. Makes no mistake. And Scotland lead 10 points to 3. They've been given an absolute gift there by the Wallabies. I can't stress enough how poor that was. That decision making. And not for the first time tonight. That seems to have been their go-to play from inside their own 22. An aimless little chip and chase over the top. Pressure on the restart. Scotland claim it, though. Just on their own 22. And the Wallabies have gone in. Dug away at that to try and steal it. And Scotland are pinged for holding on. And they can take the 3 here, the Wallabies, and nullify that gift that they just presented up the other end. Boy, did they need that. The crowd has erupted in a chorus of boos, but I don't know why. That's a slam dunk penalty. And a gift 3 points here for Lolosio, you would think. I don't want to put the mockers on him. Lord knows I've put the mockers on enough people over the years. He's nearly hit the upright. We saw Finn Russell hit the upright from that exact spot in the first half. Lolosio has nearly joined him. Does just enough to hook this one around. And it is 10 points to 6. So that halftime margin of 4 points is immediately restored. 5 minutes gone in the second half. This one, you get the feeling if the Wallabies can get their act together, it's going to go right down to the wire. If they can't, Scotland will win quite comprehensively. Tapped back from the restart, but the Wallabies secure the ball. Right, slightly skewed clearance off the side of the boot. Taken by Scotland, just inside their own half. Sending it back into midfield for Russell, who kicks for the corner. In behind Kellaway. Kellaway gets to it on the fall and claims the mark. Andrew Kellaway racing back to take that one and does well. They can just settle things down here, the Wallabies, as Kellaway thumps it into touch up towards halfway. And that's a much better clearance. Not out of the woods yet. Waste of World of Sports, of course, we've also got more rugby action coming up this morning as England take on Japan. Ashman throws to the front again. They've been very secure there. Scotland spread it wide. The wraparound play creates space for Kinghorn, who spills it. And that's where Scotland have been letting themselves down. Unmarked on the outside. And dropping the passes. Invitation to the Wallabies here. Beautiful work. Darcy Graham on the wraparound created the overlap. Simple stuff. But Kinghorn got the fingertips to it and nothing more, and the coach drops his head. Can't bear to look. Understandably so. Scrum down here for the Wallabies. Just inside Scotland's half, over on that far touchline. And we've got more injury timeouts. Still no Joseph Swillihi. That's the big story to come out of this one. Joseph Swillihi busted his wrist up. To what extent, we don't know. I've got to say that immediately it looked like he broke it. But then, as time passed and he got back up on his feet, still left the field, but he got to his feet without any sort of visible pain. I think we can rule out a clean break, but he did enough damage of it to rule him out for the rest of this game, it would appear. And that is a big loss for the Wallabies. Losing Swalihi in the first half. Scrum down. Scotland look to get another big shove on. Australia start to backpedal. Now it crabs sideways and collapses. Penalty to the Wallabies. And Scotland are in disbelief. The Scottish players are in complete and total disbelief here. They can't understand how such a dominant scrum has ended up in a penalty against them. And the referee just explains it with a simple hand gesture. The illegal wheel. Pouring in from the side. Whoops. Lolosio puts it into touch, and the Wallabies, they'll have the line-out throw here on the 22. Well, I would say that honestly, I'd say Valentini's done some boring in of his own there, angling in at scrum time, but not to worry. Pangaramosa throws to the back, finds Valentini, taps it straight down for Wilson. Quick release, losing the ball backwards now. Lolosio gets through half a gap. They're inside the 22, the Wallabies. Gordon to the left for Valentini. Takes it 10 metres out now. More quick ball. Wilson spills it. Harry Wilson drops it, and Scotland come away with it. Knock-on advantage here for Scotland. Through the hands now, and they've got a couple of mismatches out wide here. Backs on forwards. Kinghorn steps back in field, beats one of those forwards. Pops the pass up, and here's the try incoming. The chip and chase. Oh, that's a penalty try, surely. Well, the referee has waved it off. The chip and chase, and the kicker has been cleaned up by the Wallabies defence. The referee waved it off immediately and said, play on. White is still down. Ben White is still down here for Scotland. They have made the break. The try was beckoning. They found the mismatches. Backs on forwards. The pop pass for White, who kicks him behind, and just Tom Wright drops the shoulder. Takes him out. Completely cleaned him up, and I can't understand how that's not a penalty try. I don't want it to be a penalty try on account of my wager that I've got going. But I'm afraid that Wright has quite clearly dropped the shoulder in here and completely cleaned up poor Ben White, who puts the chip, draws him in, puts the chip in, and yeah, I'm afraid that's pretty clear cut. He's dropped the shoulder, braced for impact, and bumped him off. And I can't see anything but a penalty try incoming here. He might be a bit far out from the line, in fairness. The chip has come from the 22-metre line. He's clearly been taken out. He might be a bit far out for a penalty try to be awarded. But I think a penalty and a yellow card will be incoming. On reflection, a little bit far out for a penalty try. He's 25 metres out. There's Wallaby chasers coming back as well. One of them's a winger. I think I just have to calm myself down from my original immediate call of penalty try. I think it's going to be a clear-cut penalty, though, and a yellow card for Tom Wright. It's interesting, though, that the referee was right there. He saw it. He was right in front of it, or right behind it, and waved it off immediately when it happened live. The TMO is the one that's got involved here. Now, what's the decision? The referee has stood by his call. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to applaud that. I personally disagree with the decision, but I'm going to applaud that because the referee has made the call. The TMO has tossed his weight around and intervened. The referee was right there. It's not like he didn't see it. It happened literally right in front of him, and he cleared it on field. The TMO has stuck his butt in where it doesn't belong, and the referee has reviewed it and said, you know what? I'm happy with my original decision. It's exactly as I thought I first saw it. So I'm actually going to applaud that. More referees need to do that and not be dictated to by the TMOs. I'll drink to that. Scotland do have the ball back from the goal line restart. And they go straight back on the attack. Russell, cut-out pass to Jones. Fires it across, and out on the wing is Daj. What's he doing out there? The Wallabies have been held back in defence here, and that's created some space for Vandermeer to go straight through. He's taken a ground 10 metres out. Scotland piling on the pressure here. Fagerson goes forward a little bit more. Russell, dummies. The show and go almost slips through. Lined up to the right now. Scotland with Darcy Graham cutting back in field and taken 5 metres out. Big pressure here on the Wallabies. Ashman in midfield. Rocked backwards in the tackle. 9 phases now. Numbers to the left. If they can get it there, they do. Vandermeer steps in field, and Vandermeer will score. Well, there he is, Vandermeer. As I said in the pre-game, if you're picking any time try scorers, Vandermeer is definitely in the conversation. And there he goes. Well, they got away with one down the blind side, Scotland. Andrew Kellaway was clearly obstructed in the defensive line. And Vandermeer said, "Thank you very much." There's Kellaway being obstructed by Jamie Ritchie. And they get away with that one, Scotland. They still had a lot of work to do. Try for Scotland, their second. And Vandermeer in space is not going to be stopped. 15 points to 6. Conversion to come. Russell from the sideline puts this one on target. And it is 17 points to 6. 51 and a half minutes gone. Wallabies with the restart. Scotland claim it. Just outside their 22. White with the box kick clearance. Up over halfway. Taken on the fall by Lolosio, who falls to ground as he takes it. Australia scramble back and secure possession. Absolutely must be the next team to score now, the Wallabies. They have put themselves under immense pressure here. Valentini pops it up for Wilson. Crawls into Scotland's half. But still a long way to go to the try line. Gilchrist dives over the top. Through the hands now, right. Onto Ikitau. Ikitau holds the pass up. Goes to ground. Scotland try and get in over the top. Australia just get there in time. Numbers down the short side. Kellaway comes in to join the ruck. The Wallabies maintain possession. Big defense. Crawling inside the 40-metre line. Ball spills out the back. Penalty for Scotland as the ball spills out the back of the ruck. Vegason does some great work there. Oh, the penalty's gone to Australia. Referee had his arm up the wrong way. I swear to God that was not my mistake. The referee had his arm out the wrong way. I didn't call you an idiot, Richard. I said you're a brave man. Unless you're not talking about me. I most certainly did not phrase it anywhere near that way. I said you're a brave man for going Scotland by 10. Based on the fact that the last 2 games between these 2 teams have been 2-point margins either way. Wallabies throw to the line-out. It's loose out the back. Lost forward by Scotland. And Australia will get the scrum. .22 out from the try line. Absolutely imperative for the Wallabies that they're the next to score. Okay. All right. I was going to say, I certainly didn't intend my comment to sound that ferocious. I figured you probably weren't talking about me, though. 55 minutes gone, 17 points to 6. Scrum down here for the Wallabies on the Scottish 22. Scrum resets. Didn't even get a chance to bind. Swelly, he's off injured. Luca busted his wrist, making a try-saving cover tackle in the first half. Never recovered. And he has spent the rest of the game sitting on the pine watching. Scrum down now. Wallabies. Big shove again from Scotland. So Australia get it in and out of that scrum very quickly. Gordon releases it wide to the right. Gets in again. Quick ruck ball. Gordon sniping for space around the ruck. But there are some big Scot defenders there. Ready for that one. Wilson with the pick and go. Leaving the ball prone at the back of the ruck, and Scotland dive over the top. Illegally, says the referee, but geez, I don't know about that. The ball was just exposed there at the back of the ruck. It was exposed like Mike Tyson's ass on Netflix the other week. Where do I think Australia is struggling? To be honest, bloody everywhere tonight. They're being dominated in the scrums, dominated in the lineouts, dominated in possession and territory. And if Scotland's ball handling has been poor is the only reason that they haven't scored more tries, to be honest. It's really been a horror show in every facet. Wilson claims the line out. I mean, it is a miracle that Australia are even still in this with 57 minutes gone. They set up the rolling maul now, the Wallabies. Scotland get in and counter drive this. It's up off the ground. It's going to be a turnover as it collapses. Scotland have defended that immaculately. Australia have just got no opportunities. They've had plenty of line-out ball 5 meters out, and they have not been able to make any impact whatsoever. Scrum down for Scotland. 5 meters out from their own line. They've defended another one. Another rolling maul. Another 5 meter line out. They have just repelled with ease. Plenty of time left in this one, but the Wallabies, they really do need to get their act together ASAP if they want to be any threat in this match. A largely disappointing performance. As the scrum sets. Big shove here from the Wallabies, but it goes to ground, and Scotland get the penalty. Well, it's a lottery at scrum time for these penalties. There was one earlier where I thought Scotland was so dominant, and the penalty went to the Wallabies. And now the Wallabies with the dominant scrum, and the penalty's gone to Scotland. Finn Russell puts it into touch on the 40-meter line, Scotland's own side of the half. Richard Trainer, you were making a joke originally, but the boys said, idiot, put on $10. So I did. One of the boys, here's my neighbor, told me not to ring the door if you win. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, Luca, we covered the All Blacks Italy game here on the channel. Wasted World of Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and oftentimes as well live on Facebook, as Ashman throws to the front again. Secure line-out ball for Scotland. Australia get in and drive. Scotland going backwards. Forward pass there in midfield, but getting away with that one. Russell changes direction. Forced to, though, from the rush defense. Gets the kick in behind, and it's going to sit up at the back for Lolosio, who finds some space. Well, he doesn't find space. He kicked it straight down the gullet of Finn Russell. An aimless kick, and Russell finds the turf. Notice the difference there. And slipping as he collects it is Jake Gordon, And that puts immense pressure on the Wallabies at the back, who now clear into touch up towards halfway through Tom Wright. But yes, take notes, Lolosio. Notice how the opposition fly half, when he kicks the ball, he doesn't kick it straight into the chest of a gold jersey. He kicks it into the green bits of the field. 60 minutes gone. Time is running out here for a Wallabies rebound. They have been so poor tonight, and I blame myself. I blame myself for believing in them. I blame myself for putting a wager on them as opposed to against them for the first time in many, many years. I only have myself to blame as Scotland have the ball on halfway, and now a pick and go takes them back into Wallaby territory. Penalty advantage for Scotland. Down the short side they go. Tui Pelotu sends it on for Daj. Daj goes to ground. Just inside Wallaby territory. The referee will blow this penalty up now. I suspect the kick in behind the line. Harry Wilson dives on the loose ball. And Scotland say, we'll have the penalty, thank you. We'll take the territory, plug this into the corner. No real need for them to have a crack at posts at 17 points. Oh, well, 20 points to 6 would make them 2 converted tries ahead, in fairness. As onto the field comes Tate McDermott. Now, Jake Gordon has been abysmal tonight, so hopefully, for the Wallabies' sake, Tate McDermott can find some space in and around the ruck. Jake Gordon has run from the base of the ruck once all night that I can remember. One time only do I recall him sniping for space around the rucks. Just the one single time. No thought of the 3 points here. Finn Russell plugs it into the corner. It is a beautiful kick. 5 meters out from the try line. And this could be the game. This could be the game right here, one way or the other. If Scotland score a try, it is game over. You would have to think if Australia managed to repel this, they do get up and disrupt the line out. Valentini hoofs it upfield. Valentini has plugged it upfield, and winning the race to the ball is Jorgensen, who toes it ahead. It sets up for Jorgensen, and he's got support from McDermott. Firing it across to the left. The kick pass is horrible. The kick pass is useless from Tate McDermott, and Tui Pelotu claims the mark. Well, they had a 52-on-1 overlap to the left, and Tate McDermott has kicked it straight to the only Scottish defender who was back there. Scotland. The Wallabies have nearly pulled off a miracle. Valentini from the line-out just says bollocks it and hoofs the loose ball upfield. Jorgensen was winning the race. And McDermott decided that the kick pass was the idea, but he kicked it straight to the opposition was the problem. But still, this has given Australia a little bit of territory. Pollard will have the throw to the line out. They've survived for the moment that attacking threat of Scotland. Pollard throws to the front. Tap down for McDermott. Lolosio in midfield. To Ikitau. Flat pass at best. They get away with it, though. Lolosio again. To Salakai Loto. Creeping forward here, the Wallabies. Just got to try and build some momentum. Their problem, I think, is they try and go wide too early. Salakai Loto again, his second carry. Short pass. Popped up there for Gleeson. the Wallabies. McDermott, they've lost it. They've lost it. And that sums up the night, really, for the Wallabies. They've dropped the ball. One out from the ruck. And it's going to be a scrum down here for Scotland. They look like a defeated team, to be honest. The Wallabies, the heads have dropped. They're only behind by 11 points, and there's 15 minutes to go. There's no reason for them really to be hanging their heads. Still plenty to play for. But they do look like a defeated team at the moment. Scotland will have the scrum here. Their own 22. Leading this 17 points to 6. Wallabies need a big shove, a legal shove. The scrum holds firm from Scotland, though, and monsters the Wallabies, and they get the penalty. Well, the Wallabies were the ones that needed the big scrum. Scotland are the ones that produced it. They just walked over the top of them, and Australia had no choice, really, but to buckle and collapse. And this one is starting to escape them big time. Time is running away. And Finn Russell puts it into touch on halfway. Scotland secure the line-out ball. Send it through the backs. Jones gets the pass off to Graham. Darcy Graham's in space. One to beat. Puts the step on. Fires the Harbour Bridge ball out for Bayliss. Bayliss heads for the corner. And Bayliss scores the match winner. Bayliss scores the match winner for Scotland. They extend their lead to 22 points to 6. It is insurmountable now with 14 minutes to go. Josh Bayliss has scored what will surely be the match winner. And the Wallabies' revival was just another false dawn after all. Scotland have brought them plummeting back down to earth. Darcy Graham has been threatening all night long. 1, 2, 3 Wallabies defenders there, and Bayliss bends off Wilson. Gets his way to the try line. What an effort by the big man. Russell from the sideline hooks this one horribly off to the left. 22 points to 6 it remains. 13 minutes to go. Oh. 13 minutes remaining. Can the Wallabies pull off a miracle here? The restart straight up the middle. Scotland claim it. Frantic stuff now for the visitors. White's got this at the back. Oh, no, White's off the field. That is George Horn with the box kick. Close to the sideline. They've tried to keep it in play, Australia. Well, there's a fine line here between, as Scotland now pilfer the ball, there's a fine line between playing frantic catch-up footy and just being outright stupid, and I'm afraid that crossed the line. And here comes Scotland now. Hugh Jones beats the first tackle, but falls to ground. Russell sends it across to nobody. A kind bounce, and it sits up for Scotland. Bayliss, the try scorer, just inside Wallabies territory. Russell now to Kinghorn, who penetrates the line. Kinghorn is taken down just outside the 22. Scotland stay on the short side. They're running roughshod now. Scotland, forget about your 10 points, Richard Trainer. It could be over 20 by the end of this. Scotland are putting on a cleaning now, but it's stolen away by Gleeson. And the Wallabies have possession back. 69 minutes gone. Terrible service there to Lolosio, who kicks and puts it into touch. 10 metres short of halfway. The Wallabies under the pump. Scotland have gone up a gear. And the Wallabies have not been able to go with them. The revival was another false dawn. It seems. Ten minutes remaining. 16 points the difference. Scotland with the line-out throw. Will they go to the front? They go to the middle. Uncontested, so it doesn't matter that it was not straight. Scotland set it up in midfield. 40 metres out from the try line, looking for more points. Inside ball for Vandermeer, who breaks through. Where's his support? He heads back towards the post, Vandermeer. He's got support out to the right. The inside ball from Jones, who pops it up now for Finn Russell. And that well and truly seals the deal. Scotland are running absolute riot now on this Wallabies team, who have, I'm afraid, completely given up. The revival is officially a false dawn. Scotland have brought them plummeting back to earth. 27 points to 6. And all that early territory and pressure is starting to reap rewards late in the game. Vandermeer went straight through, changed direction, and he had all his support runners out wide. A beautiful pop pass to Finn Russell, who is charging onto the ball and scores untouched. 27 points to 6. Scotland are on fire. Another poor attempt at conversion from Finn Russell, but it matters not. They are so far on top in this one. .71.5 minutes gone. Scotland 27-6. Australia. Well, they don't even go short with the restart, the Wallabies. I can't make heads or tails out of this, but they get a penalty for obstruction. Well, maybe it worked out. Maybe they did exactly what they were trying to do. They go quickly. They tap and go. Wilson takes it inside the 22. It'd almost be a slap in the face, honestly, if the Wallabies get a try now, late in the game. Well, they won't because they've knocked it on. Sums up the game for them. Gleeson spills it. And Scotland clear up over halfway, but will come back for the scrum. And the scrum looks like it's going to the Wallabies. There must have been a double knock-on in there. Ah, yes, Tui Pelotu has stripped that ball out of the hands of Gleeson, which has created the knock-on. Fair call there. Crack a smile, mate. Scotland are winning and winning big. 73 minutes gone. Wallabies with the scrum down. 22 metres out. Big shove again from Scotland. They release it quickly, though. McDermott, inside ball for Kellaway. 10 metres out. McDermott is wrapped up and spills it. And Scotland will get the scrum. The defensive pressure, immense. Diving over the top, flying over the ruck there, and forcing the error from McDermott, who has made no difference at all since coming on. And I've got to say, the Wallabies scrum half stocks are looking very, very light on. Jake Gordon was terrible. Tate McDermott has not made any difference whatsoever tonight. And what a huge, huge thump back to earth. Yes, unfortunately, cable TV rules the roost as far as coverage of games goes. Russell, off the back of the scrum, from inside the 22, thumps it into touch around the 40-metre mark. And the Wallabies will get the line-out throw. Only 6 minutes remain. Pollard throws to the middle, and they've caught them napping. McDermott with the grubber kick through. Jorgensen's winning the race, is he? No, that's not Jorgensen. That's Harry Potter, and Harry Potter scores the try. It's taken 74 and a half minutes. 74 and a half minutes. And it looks like Harry Potter's scored the first try for Australia. A little bit of magic, if you will. Of course, I had to use that line, didn't I? Well, this has not been awarded yet. This try's not been awarded yet. They have to have a look. A trick line-out play has hit McDermott, who grubbers through. They're all onside. And Harry Potter wins the race to the ball. Does he ground it? Does he ground it? He's bobbled the ball, reels it in, collects the ball. He's got it up against his chest. Now he spills it into his nuts. And he gets the ball down, does he? Oh, has he just got this down in the nick of time? We'll see. Jason Callaway, ahoy, mate. He's held onto the ball. He's still got it. He's still got it. Harry Potter plants it down and scores the try. And the Wallabies have finally got their first 5-pointer of the night. 74 and a half minutes into the contest. They have finally scored a try. A miracle. A little piece of magic from Harry Potter. Try time for the Wallabies. Well, we're still looking at this. The TMO is still looking at this. And the longer this goes on, the more you start to think this is not going to be awarded. He's ground. Okay, they have awarded the try. It just took them a while to get there. Which I don't understand. Hang on. Have they awarded it? They have awarded it. They got there in the end. They got there in the end. A little piece of Harry Potter magic. And the Wallabies have got their first try. I don't understand why it took them so long to review that decision. And taking over the kicking duties here, Ben Donaldson. Ben Donaldson has been thrown onto the park a little bit too late. Lolosio was not providing any impact on the game whatsoever. And I'm not suggesting that Ben Donaldson would have made a difference as he puts this conversion over to make it 27 points to 13. Would Ben Donaldson have made a difference? We'll never know because he didn't really get a chance to show anything. But I think, in all simplicity, Scotland just way too good tonight. I mean, basically, you can pick apart anything throughout the course of this match, but Scotland just simply way too good. 27 points to 13. But Richard Traynor, another try by the Wallabies before the death, steals your 10-point margin away. some nervy times here to end this game. The Wallabies put on a set-piece play from inside their own 22, and they've created an overlap here for Harry Potter into a little bit of space again. The Wizard has to cut back in field as the Scottish defence slides across. Wilson pops this one up. Have they lost it again, the Wallabies? No, they've still got it at the back. McDonald going close to the sideline now and just shadowed over into touch. The Scottish defence, too solid. And they'll have the line-out throw. And they're in absolutely no hurry to get there. Scotland. $27 points to 13. The throw. They've gone to the front a lot tonight, Scotland, and why change what's working? They hit the front again, and again Australia driving underneath the catcher to give away a penalty advantage. Oh, this is a knock-on advantage, this one. And Scotland drive forward. And we do come back for, it was a penalty after all. And Scotland, what do? Put this into the corner? Yeah. Of course they will. Finn Russell will just plug this into the corner. And with 2 minutes remaining, into touch it goes. For the Wallabies, the Grand Slam, they've fallen short. 30 missed tackles and 14 penalties they've given away, the Wallabies. They have truly been atrocious tonight. I mean, I do not want to take away from Scotland at all. But holy hell, they've been so bad, the Wallabies, and now they are back in possession. Jorgensen breaks away up the middle of the field. Can they bag a consolation try? Another one. Tom Wright runs back towards the post. Jorgensen puts a grubber kick in, and there are just 100 Scottish jerseys there. We come back for a penalty to Australia as why. He knew they had the advantage. Yes, Jason Callaway, I will still be around. As the Wallabies peel off a lot of meters here with that kick into touch. And they'll have the line-out throw on Scotland's 22. Oh, Richard Trainer. They're going to try and steal your 10-point margin here, mate. They're going to try and pinch it from you at the death. But yes, Jason, I'll be doing a podcast-style series in the off-season covering all the player movements and whatnot for the NRL season next year. So there'll still be content on the channel, even with all the rugby drawing to a close. As Australia now 5 meters out from the try line in front of the post, McDermott sends it to Pisano, who plants it back. Can they break Richard Trainer's heart here, the Wallabies? The game is gone, but they can ruin poor Richard's margin here. Over the line and held up. Just short. The Wallabies managed to keep it there. Pick and go. Over the line. Can't get it to ground. It's short again. Scotland are trying to keep this up off the deck. And they've done so successfully, I think. Australia try and dig this out. And they've done well here, the Wallabies, to get this ball back. Just a half a metre short from the line now. McDermott wants to go quickly. Right. They're so close here, the Wallabies. Trying to burrow under. The pick and go. Half a metre short. A consolation try. Another drive under. Sakai Lotu, what's his name? Salakai Lotu goes short. They're still short, half a metre. The ball goes backwards. Wilson is close. He's lost it. Harry Wilson's lost it. And that is time off. And Scotland have held on for a 14-point victory. They've got you 10 points there, Richard Trainer. As I said at the top of the stream, you're a brave man. But as they say, fortune favours the brave, right? Scotland, you wouldn't call them clinical because they could have won by a lot more if their ball handling wasn't a little bit off. But 27 points to 13, a dominant display. You can certainly call it that. It was far from clinical from the Scots, but it was very, very dominant and a disappointing display from Australia after the resurgence of sorts that they've been showing in recent weeks. Talk about plummeting back down to earth in a heap of nothingness. Scotland way too good tonight. I don't want to focus on how bad the Wallabies were because I feel like that's taking away a little bit from Scotland's performance, which, as I said, not clinical, but obviously way better than Australia. Finn Russell controlled the game so well from fly half. Lolosio did the complete opposite. He stunk up the joint. I don't understand what those little chips were from inside the 22. When Swalihi was on the field, it made a little bit more sense because those little dinks in over the line, Swalihi can get up above everybody and tap the ball back. But once Swalihi left the field, it felt like Australia were sticking, excuse me, it felt like the Wallabies were sticking to that game plan. It's almost like they didn't have a plan B. They didn't talk it over during the training run. Okay, what do we do if Joey goes off the field? They were still persisting with those little dinks in over the top from inside their 22. And without Swalihi there to compete for the ball and win it back, basically they were gifting Scotland possession and just handing the ball back to them in attacking range. They were just constantly putting themselves under unnecessary pressure, Australia. What they needed to do was once Swalihi left the field, they needed to toss out those little kicks over the top and just go for more traditional clearances. Anyway, it is what it is. 27 points to 13. Credit where credit is due. Obviously, I'm in Australia. I'm an Australian in Australian, so I'm focusing on the Wallabies a lot. I certainly don't mean to take away from Scotland's performance by focusing on the Wallabies and where they went wrong. Let's talk about where Scotland went right. Finn Russell was immense. He controlled the game so well from fly half. Duhan Vandermeer was brilliant. I think Darcy Graham was threatening every time he touched the ball. And ultimately, he was heavily involved in what essentially turned out to be the match-winning play. Because once they scored that try with Bayliss in the corner, it was all over. Scotland just went to a new level of confidence. It's like they broke the chains at that point. Ashman was pinpoint accurate with his line-out throwing for the most part. There was only one that there's only one throw that I can remember that really... well, there were a couple of skewed throws, and there was the one knock-on at line-out time, but the knock-on certainly wasn't Ashman's fault. So, yeah, some very solid play. And Tui Pilotu was huge in the midfield for Scotland. Yeah, it's all good, Richard. We've got plenty of content still to come on the channel. I mean, if anybody's interested in it. I'm actually going to do, this is an exclusive for you guys that are joining me right now. This is exclusive news, but just talking about what's coming up on the channel for the end of the year. Now, there's actually a program that I've got on PC, a rugby league simulator, right? And it's not, when I say simulator, it's purely a text-based simulator. But what we're going to do, just for a little bit of fun, is we're going to sit down one day and all the Wasted Water Sports channel members on YouTube, all the paid channel members on YouTube are going to get a team in this fake simulation competition. And we're going to create the teams, and we're going to see who wins the Wasted Water Sports channel members championship. So that'll be one stream that's coming up. We're also going to be doing a sports board game night. And I am also looking at restarting my Intoxigamer gaming channel, which was my first foray into YouTube content creating. I started it about 6 years ago, and I'm sort of looking to bring that back. So I might do some cross promotion with some sports games. Rugby League Manager 4 is about to get released in December, so maybe I'll do. Let's see how Dan does controlling his own NRL team. So there's some stuff that we've got that we can do during the off season, and of course I will be doing my podcast style show, which I'm still yet to find an official name for. But yeah, I'll be doing a podcast style show with everything that's happening in the off season whilst we get ready. And look, at the end of the day, February is going to come around so quick, isn't it? February is going to come around so quick. Before we know it, it's going to be Rugby League preseason once again. We'll be doing all the preseason games live on the channel. So there's going to be plenty of content coming up. I mean, this is what I do now. This is my full-time job. So I've got no choice but to actually do shit. Because I know that when we've been doing the channel over the past year or so, the past couple of years, I know that I've had a lot of crazy ideas, and I've gone, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And at times just got away from me because I'd be exhausted after work or something. But now this is my work. I quit my full-time job to do this. It was going that well. So now I've got no excuse. I kind of have to do it. So plenty of content still to come in the off-season here on the Wasted World of Sports. Yeah, it's been a big weekend. I'm pretty happy with the way the weekend's gone thus far. So I thought about sticking around and doing the England-Japan game. I will honestly wake up in the morning and truly, legitimately uppercut myself if it turns out to be a really good game. I can't see Japan getting close, though, so I'm sort of struggling at the moment to stay awake. So I don't know that I will stay up and do that one, to be perfectly honest. But, yeah, I will obviously give myself a huge uppercut if I wake up in the morning and see the scores, check the scores, and go, wow, I missed a perler of a game there. Oh, next year, Bruiser Cruiser, next season, we're doing more. There will be more games covered on the Wasted Water Sports. Like I said, I quit my job. I do this full time now, all this content creating, which I know it sounds ridiculous probably. Like, oh, why would you quit a full-time job to do this full-time? Well, I mean, first of all, it's fun. And honestly, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't making some sort of income. I'm not stupid. I'm a little bit crazy. I'm quite eccentric, but I'm certainly not stupid. So we'll be covering more rugby union. Next season, we'll be doing Super Rugby. Super Rugby will be stepping up. I'm still yet to tell Michelle this, by the way. Incidentally, I haven't let Michelle know yet that I'll be doing a lot more rugby union in season 2025. So some of those rugby league games might either have to take a backward seat or she's going to have to do them. we'll have that conversation. But yes, plenty of stuff still to come on the Wasted World of Sports moving forward. And I'm looking forward to it all, quite frankly. $27 points to 13 here, though. Scotland got the job done over the Wallabies. Solid performance, but far from clinical, as I said. But they'll be happy enough with that win. Certainly a lot happier than the Wallabies. The Wallabies have got a lot of soul-searching to do. It seemed like they had turned a corner and were getting themselves back on track, but no. Plummeting back down to earth. All right, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for your company. Very much appreciate it. I do have actually, I've got the 15th I don't have it written down, Jason. I've got it entered into my diary. 15th of December. It just says, honestly, it just says 15th of December, Jason Calloway, 5:20 p.m. I'm going to wake up one morning and read that and go, what in Christ's name is this? Because it's got no other context with it. All right. Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for your company. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm going to close this off on TikTok here for a moment. Thank you. Cheers. TikTok, you've been great. There we go. And on YouTube, my YouTube faithful, if you don't mind, I'm just going to run a couple of ads. You don't have to click on them, but it just helps the channel out if you let them play through. If you get an ad, you might not. It's very selective with who it sends the ads to. And if you're on YouTube Premium, you're supporting the channel anyway, financially, just by being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you and our time spent here tonight. And I'll catch you guys next time. Keep an eye on the channel for announcements on when the future streams will be. We've still got plenty of content coming up on the channel, despite the respective seasons coming to a close. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time. Till then, cheers.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play. But it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less from the kickoff.